Make yourself nice and comfortable, settle down, and we shall begin. So one of the great things about somatic movement basically is, I mean, we should do it in all kind of walks of, all types of movement, to be fair. And it's that idea just of paying attention, getting a good sense of what this body is really. And it's, I'm learning Thai yoga massage at the moment, and it kind of uses the principles of somatics really within it. I mean, I don't know if they think that's what it is, but really it is. And it's with somatics again, it also ties into fascia theory and things like that, and the whole idea that we're not just a bunch of muscles, everything's connected. So as you're lying down on the floor, you're just beginning to kind of get to sense that connectivity. You might notice maybe one side of the body feels a little bit more contracted to the other side of the body. You might have had a shoulder injury, and you might notice that shoulder sits a little bit differently to the other shoulder. So the body keeps score of the lives that we've had. So with that in mind, just begin to notice, maybe even start a place where you've had an injury before, where you've noticed, maybe you've hurt your hip or your leg or anything. Does that feel different on one side to the other, or is it exactly the same? And then from that as a starting point, just start to kind of like shine a little spotlight on your body, noticing the shoulders, noticing the hips. Kind of be like a little detective. And you start to notice from that things aren't generally equal, even if you've not had any injuries, just habits that we've picked up, the way we walk. I read a fascinating book a few years ago, and they were saying that people often walk like the parents because that's who we've learned to walk from. Just kind of notice how your feet contact the floor, how your shins contact the floor, your hips contact the floor, the arms. And often, you're not a mirror on one side. Very quirky. And then starting to pay attention to your breathing, get a good sense of how that is this morning. Feel how your belly rises, your belly falls, belly swells, belly sinks. And then from there, we're going to walk the feet inwards towards the hips, standing them up. And you're kind of having your feet roughly hip distance apart, not too close to each other, not too far apart. And also not too close to your bottom, but equally not too far away towards the end of the mat. And just kind of notice your footprints. Spend some time with those. Notice little toes, big toes, balls of the feet. And then into the heels. So it sounds really weird, but your feet are mega important. I think they are. I think if you see those as the foundation of your body, and any kind of like fallen arch or whatever, or high arches, it's going to affect what's above it. So just notice how your feet naturally contact the floor, and then we're going to start the movement. And we're going to start for a change at the feet. I want you to scrunch your toes up, kind of as though you're making fists with your feet, and then really spread your toes out. And then scrunch your toes up like you're making fists with your feet. And then again, really, really spread your toes out. Do that a few times. And then drop your feet down. And from there, just kind of push forward with your feet. Your feet aren't going to move, but as they push forward, you're going to feel your tailbone curl away from the floor. And then just relax the feet, and you'll feel your pelvis kind of come into something that feels like neutral, where you're doing nothing. So again, you're just going to push your feet forwards and feel how your tailbone curls away from the floor. And then just relax, and pelvis comes to nothing. So you're just allowing the forces of the floor to go through the body into the back. You might feel the rib cage becoming a little bit heavier. We're not going up into anything that feels like a yoga bridge or anything like that. It's just a rocking sensation from the pelvis. But muscularly, what you're feeling, as you push forwards, the tummy is tightening. And then as you let go, the tummy lengthens. Just do that a few times. Push forwards, tummy tightens. And let go, tummy lengthens. And it's a pandiculation. This is what somatic movement's all about. So we're going to blend a bit of somatics with normal yoga. So pandiculation is basically when you go to the physio, they'll get you to tighten and they'll push into you, then they'll get you to relax. And it's just a tightening of the muscles in order to reset them to the natural level. So let's go the other way, shall we? So we're going to pause. Without moving your feet, try to pull them towards your bottom. And I don't know if you can see, but the lower back arches naturally. And then relax it. So you're pulling the heels towards the bottom. And then relax it. And again, heels towards bottom. And relaxing. And muscularly, I don't know if you can feel it through the calves, into the hamstrings, into the back. There's a tightening, which then softens and soothes as you release. And this is where I kind of then start to notice your feet. So within yoga we have bandhas. The bandhas are in the feet. So you've got the pada bandha. So I just want to bring focus into your little toe, your big toe. Press them down into the floor as you do it. And that will intensify the movement. So you're pressing down through little toe and big toe. As you pull the heels towards you, that will intensify the movement. So you kind of engage a little bit more. You might even feel that through the legs a bit more, all the way through the soles of the feet. And it makes that movement a little bit deeper. So I want you now just to push forwards and then pull inwards. Pushing forwards and then pulling inwards. So you're taking it into arch and flatten. And again, try and maintain that pada bandha, little toe, big toe, back of the heel. And then let everything go, pausing. And then we're going to start to kind of go the opposite way. We're going to lift one hip up off the floor, right knee pushes away, right hip settles down, left hip pushes away, left hip settles down. So you're just kind of rocking across the pelvis. And I'm undecided as to what side of the body feels longer. I think it's the one that floats up, kind of pushes away. And again, as you lift the hip, kind of maintain that sense of pada bandha through the feet. Okay, so from there we're going to pause, raising the both hands up towards the ceiling. So as though you're holding a present in front of you. And I'd like to reach your right hand up towards the ceiling. Just noticing doing that your right shoulder lifts off the floor, your rib cage. You can roll a little bit to the left. And then just relax that right shoulder down. And you're going to reach that right hand up towards the ceiling. And again, you can roll a little to the left. If you just maybe place your left hand on your heart, you'll feel you've rolled to the left. And then again, settle back down. Taking both hands back up, do it again. And I don't know if you notice that when you lay back down, your chin kind of comes down towards your throat and the back of the neck lengthens like a little giraffe or a tortoise. And then pause in, and we'll go to the left side, so we're going to lift the left hand up towards the ceiling. And again, rolling gently back to the middle. So you're kind of feeling that left side ribs peeling away, and yet the arms are leading. The hand comes towards the ceiling. So you always try to keep those hands pointed upwards. Good work, fantastic. Make it really smooth if you can. And then again, notice how your head lengthens away from the body as you settle. Then do the right. And as you're reaching up with your right hand, take your left hand up, and you tend to feel yourself roll the opposite direction. As your left arm lifts, your right arm comes down. And then reaching your right hand up, rolling across the back. Left arm comes down as the right arm comes up. So reaching up, With one hand, bring the other hand down. So it's that idea, if you feel slightly barrelly, this is that whole barrel thing. But notice through the middle of the body there's an engagement, the tummy is tight. So again, we are keeping that sense of our red light reflex, the tension through the tummy. And we're kind of extending away, just kind of finding little niggles in the back to release. And then just let your arms fall down by your side and just spend some quality time with your breath. Notice your shoulders. Notice the spread through the front of the chest. Okay, so let's take it into barrel. So, well, that is kind of barrel, it's half barrel, isn't it? We're going to bring the arms up again. And all we're going to do is invite the legs into the story. So as you bring your right hand up to the ceiling, just gently push into your right foot and your right hip tilts and you kind of roll a little to the left. Keep your hand forever reaching towards the ceiling and then settle down. And then lead with your left hand, reach that up and then gentle push into the left foot and you roll the other way. So your arm eventually, it's like you're turning left on a bicycle, which you kind of keeps floating to the ceiling and then again settle down, right arm reaches up. And settle down and left arm reaches up. And just kind of make it fluid. Feel that sense of barrel rolling through the back of the body. So where we're going to go next is just a little addition to this. So we're going to relax down towards, onto our backs. Let your hands rest down by your side. And maybe you can extend your legs out for a moment, just see if you can feel any difference through the back body. So, well, I don't know if you do know, but with somatics, we don't tend to stretch anything per se. It just kind of happens as things release. So, you know, you might notice your hips feel a bit happier about being on the floor. Maybe your shoulders do at this point. So we're going to now bend our right knee, keep the foot standing on the floor. Place your left hand on your belly. Slide your left hand up over your heart, up over your face, and then slowly away. So your left arm is going to rest on the floor somewhere above your head. Feels like we only did this last week, you might have done. That's it, so your left hand is somewhere on the floor overhead. Alright, so let's try this two ways actually. There's two ways, we're going to roll onto our belly. So we're going to work with the right hand. Place your right hand on your heart. And we lead with the hand, so don't think of pushing and straining. So you're going to slide your right hand to your left shoulder, your right hand to your left elbow, your right hand towards your left wrist. And then, do you feel your right shoulder coming up away from the floor? Take it to the point where you feel stiff and effort is there, and then just let go, slide back onto your back. And then do it again, right hand heart, shoulder, elbow. Look at the hand actually, and then begin just to maybe push with your right foot and look at the hand. Palms are touching and your head is hopefully resting on the floor, and then roll back onto your back. So what we're doing here is we're creating a back bend from our hands. So we're going to roll eventually into both hands on our belly. So you're going to want it for your back bend. So when you're ready, belly, heart, shoulder, elbow, and looking at the hand, gentle push, and just keep those hands reaching. So that right hand is brought onto our side, heart's beginning to come forwards, and then again roll back down onto your back, settle back down. And what I found the first time is that push of the foot felt really heavy, but now it feels light as everything coordinates. To go onto your back, onto your belly, all you're going to do is lift your head. And you're going to really, you might already be that you can kind of feel if you lift your head and lift your right foot up off the floor, you can roll onto your tummy and both your hands are outstretched. And then to come back, lift your right leg back, take your right foot over to the left, it comes back to the floor and there you are, you're spiraling back down onto your back. You're putting your t-shirt down in the process. And when you're ready, you do it again, you slide your hand up, Look in, that's it, gentle push. I can see you all there. You go, fantastic. Rolling down onto tummy, look at your hand. And you could even bring your hands in towards your heart so you're kind of coming into kind of a hybrid of bow and sphinx. And to come out of it, slide the hands away, lift the right leg, bringing that right foot to the floor behind, rolling onto your back, and again resting. It's quite nice, isn't it? Do it again. So again, all you're trying to do is make that fluid. And we're going to use this action to get us into our bow pose. So really focusing on the hand bringing you onto your belly and the foot bringing you onto your back. Should we try bow pose? Yeah, okay. So you're on your back. Your right hand goes down towards your right foot. You might want to let go of that. I've actually stepped my right foot out a little bit and my hand reaches that. I've also got really long spaghetti arms. So the option is to not use the hand yet, but get ready to use it. So the difference is going to be, you're going to go onto your belly and then grab your ankle. So I'm gonna hold. In fact, I won't hold it because if you can't reach, you might feel sad. So all I'm doing is letting that right hand be down by the side. I'm pushing into the foot and just kind of pausing on my side a little bit. And I can feel that heart kind of pushing up through and then settling down. So what I'm feeling is from the foot into the knee, into the hip, that the spine is beginning to push over. It's all coming from the right foot. So you push the foot, feel the hips, feel the belly. And just kind of let your right arm kind of stay on the ground behind you. So that right arm kind of slides in behind you. And the wrist kind of rests somewhere towards your bottom. So I'm going to go for it now. So I'm going to push, go so far. And again, it's that idea of lifting the foot up and then that right hand comes towards the right foot. And pulling the foot in towards the bottom. And then letting go, obviously, bringing the foot behind, rolling onto your back and settle back down. And again, when you're ready, push. And trails behind, grabs the foot. And again, you can even bring the left hand in to come a little bit higher. And again, slide in, bringing the hand back, settle down onto your back. And what I love about this actually is a really lovely little spiral movement in the foot as you push, particularly on the way back. Kind of notice what your foot does. You know, imagine that your foot's got a little plate on the sole of it, and lifting it up, and you kind of draw a little circle with your foot to place it down. Shall we do the opposite side? Maybe we should, shouldn't we? So switching legs. In fact, let's lay down for a second. So just, you know, extend your legs out in front of you. Notice your right side to your left side. Maybe no differences. Maybe you might have more awareness of that right side because we spent a lot of time with it, haven't we? I'm going to turn around because behind me is a very cold hearth and I will scream and I'll handle it. Right. Okay, so we've got the left foot out in front of us, right leg extended, and place your right hand on your belly, slide it up over your chest and again onto the floor behind. So again, that arm is comfortable. And then the left hand rests on the chest, goes to the right shoulder, to the right elbow. And again, you're pausing when the effort is there. You want it to be effortless. And then again, relaxing. And we're going to take ourselves onto our side using this left hand. So it slides. Look at it. Can you roll? There's a little push of your left foot. And then settle down. So the hand pulls you so far. And just follow the movement down. And when it kind of reaches that left hip, there's a gentle push. Look at the hands and just again noticing how the heart comes forwards. So you've already kind of started the back bend, although it might not quite feel like a back bend at this moment, but there is one there. And then it might be that you kind of notice your head flicking up and you might be thinking, hang on a minute, I'm already there. So if it feels right, you just go with it. Lift your left foot up over. Roll onto your belly, and again, you're going to keep that knee bent, and your hands are going to just be in front of you, pressing down into the floor a little bit. And then to come out, you lift the leg, bring it back, spiral back onto your back, bring the hand with you. And again, the hand slides and starts to feel quite effortless, hopefully. And again, you have the option of sliding those hands in, coming into our hybrid of our Sphinx and bow. Slide the hands away, leading with the left foot to spiral back. And again, can you make it effortless? Maybe even try going from the foot this time. George is really pulling in this lesson, isn't it? So should we go towards both pose? Maybe we should. So that right arm stays somewhere. The left hand this time, I would say, yeah, don't grab the foot, you'd be struggling. You could do it, but it's a little bit, you kind of fight yourself a little bit. So I would definitely let go of that foot for a second. And then you're concentrating on the push. So you're pushing from the left foot, pelvis turns, and again, just let that left arm float in behind. And you just, again, noticing the movement from the foot this time. Foot, knee, thigh, pelvis, belly, heart. Head might begin to lift, so you're going to kind of roll over your right arm. It's one of those things you kind of get to a point that you think, oh, hang on a minute, lift the foot. And then there you are. Can you bring your hand in towards the foot? And then obviously to come out of it, drop the foot. Left leg comes behind and you find yourself on your back again. And again, once you kind of get into this, you could bring yourself a little bit higher, coming into our bow pose. And again, settle back down onto your back. So I'm going to roll over onto my belly next, and I'm going to bring the other foot in, take the hand around, and then let go. And I'm going to go the opposite way, so I'm going to scream on my heart. I'm just going to wiggle, so I've got space. I've now bent the right leg, and I'm going to push, go the other way, and grab the left foot. And you're going with a good sensation. I mean, my yoga teachers tell me have the knees together on a bow, and I think that could feel really horrible in your sacrum. So you're going to go, you might go with splayed knees. We're all built a little bit differently. So if maybe while you're in the bow, try to bring your knees together, notice where the pain goes, and then maybe widen out the knees. And then I think it might be nice to stay on our bellies for the next bit. So on your belly, you're going to have your hands either side of your chest and just let your nose kind of caress the floor. So I tend to think as though you've done a press up and collapsed. So collapsed press up position. In fact, I regularly, if I go to a gym and they make you press ups, and this is my version of it, I just kind of lay on the floor and wait for it to be over. So collapsed press up position. So you've got your hands out by your side, you can feel all your fingers on the floor. You can feel your elbows kind of wiggling in the air. And from there, we're going to bring focus into the shoulders. So we're going to bring the right shoulder back. And then you kind of imagine you've got like a little belly button on your back, and you're drawing that right shoulder in and down towards your invisible belly button on your back. And then relax it. We're doing that a few times. Right shoulder back, in and down towards the little invisible belly button. And then again, settle back down. And what this is doing is actually working in the back line of our body. So from that shoulder, a tightening of muscles that then brings that right shoulder up and off the floor. And then again, settling back down. And then we'll do it again, right shoulder, squeezing it in. Feel how the right shoulder floats. And that connection from your right shoulder down into your belly button on the actual belly button on the front of your body. And then relaxing that off. And then we'll do the left shoulder back, squeezing it down and in. And then back down. I tend to think of this movement as a dancing cobra. So you're going to bring the shoulder up, squeeze it in, and then relax it down. Shoulder up, squeezing it in, and then relaxing it down. Again, sensing that connection from the shoulder at the back down to this invisible belly button, but from the front, from the actual shoulder down to your actual belly button, that sense of openness and space. And then we'll do the right. Settle down, and then we'll do the left. Settle down. Just let your breath kind of come into this. Notice what your breath is doing. I tend to breathe in and breathe out on the way down. And then we're going to bend the knees. And as we did earlier on in that little bird pose thing, we used our legs, didn't we? They came across. So from this place, shall we think of our right leg? Lifting your right leg up off the floor, bring it over to the left, and your pelvis rolls. And then bring yourself back down again. So right leg lifts, bring it to the left, pelvis rolls, and then roll back down onto your belly. And just do it again a few more times. And then we'll do the left. Left leg across to the right, pelvis rolls. Left leg off to the right, pelvis rolls. And believe it or not, this is going to come to seated. So, you know, if you've been to these lessons before, you'll know what's coming. So we'll settle down. I'm going to go to my left because that's where I've got most space. So I'm going to bring the right shoulder back and in, and then lift the right leg, bring it over to the left, pushing, well, straighten my arms actually, my feet come behind me, and then just keep going until I'm looking over my right shoulder. There you go, just push with your hands, nearly there. So right shoulder, legs over to the right, just keep pushing, the legs go behind, straightening the arms, so close. Nearly there, okay. Just come back, so we're going to go back over onto our belly. So I'm going to spiral back over onto my belly, just keep doing it. So there's a lot of this is body weight, so you're going to take the leg, bring it back, push with your hands, push, 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 push. The left hand pushes a little bit more as you spiral around, looking over your right shoulder. Yay! And then come all the way back. So legs to the left, pushing with your hands, just keep pushing, push, 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 and then going over. And then all the way back. This is like a coil spring movement, you're kind of undoing yourself and going the opposite way. Should I go the opposite way? So again, I'm going to spin around because I've got the most freezing cold half known to humanity just by my side. So we're going to take that left shoulder up and back, lift the left leg, push, 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 straight the arms, push fine with your right hand, and that will bring you around looking over your left shoulder. That's the opposite way. That's it. There you go then, and that's it coming all the way back. So again, feet to the right, push. It's that right hand that gives you that final bit of momentum, kind of push off it to spin around. So you kind of coordinate in the body what is going to get you there. Well, certainly the weight of the legs is going to bring you so far, and then it's a push of that right hand that allows you to come all the way around. Okay, so shall we add in a little leg stretch? I think we should, shouldn't we? So I'm going to go back the way, I'm going to go back down to my tummy. I'm going to go this way, so I'm doing the correct leg. So on our back. So what we're going to do next time is as we come up. So where are we? So this is my right leg. This is my right hand. I'm bringing myself over. Let me spin the other way. I don't think you can. Can you see? Can you see? I don't know if you can see. I'm going to go the opposite way and I'm going to do the same leg. As I'm going across this time, the left leg is going to come out from underneath me, and when I come up sitting, I'm going to be in this position with my left leg out in front of me and my right leg curled back. So, right, what leg am I doing now? So right leg's coming behind, straightening the left leg, and then pushing as I did previously. And then that leg is heavy, brings me to seated, and then I'm ready to go into a fold. Oh, that's much. And then going back. I went to the gym yesterday, I can tell. And then we're going to spiral back over the body in the same way, and then you just kind of bend both knees at the end like a little finale. So, feet to the right, straighten that left leg as you go, pushing with the hands. That right leg becomes heavy, brings you to seated, and then there you go. So you're just going to rest your left hand on your left shin when you're seated, your right hand comes onto your thigh. I'm just going to wait for you all to kind of get ready for catching up. That's it. So now place your right hand down on your left shin, slide it down towards your left foot, and just let yourself kind of sink down into fold. Beautiful. Slide your hands back up towards your hip. Take your hands back to the floor, spiral back down onto your belly. So what this starts to develop into is quite a nice little flow. Kind of go with the flow. Spiral. Kind of feel yourself settle, that right shoulder draws back. Maybe you can look at the right plane to the right, and then slide your right hand down towards your left foot. Kind of go with a sense of spiral action through the movement. And then again, slide it back, and then turn the body round back down onto the floor, and again, settle back down. So feet are going to go to the left leg pops up, spiral, look to the right. And then right hand slides down towards the left foot. Amazing. Let it flow. In breath, coming back up maybe. Out breath, settle back down onto your tummy, recurl the legs. In breath. Out breath. In breath. And out breath. Moving back. Should we go the opposite way? Possibly should. So spiral back down onto your belly. Might be nice to do a child's pose, so just sinking yourself back and have a little rest. We'll take this into some pigeons once we get seated next time. So when you're ready, you're back on your belly. And then, what leg are we doing? That's it, left leg, isn't it? So left leg is going to go back. The right leg begins to straighten, pushing yourself to seated, and again, kind of taking a seat. You can always leave out that leg bit if you want to. You can just kind of just sit and then come back down again. But I'm going to take my left hand down the right shin, and I'm just looking over the right shoulder as I go. Hand comes back, and then spiraling over onto belly again. Bringing both feet in. So the feet are going to go over to the right, left thigh lifts, which clears the way to straighten the leg at the right, and again taking the seat. Looking over the left shoulder, and then slide the left hand down towards the right foot. Coming back up. And then again spiral back down onto belly. You like a little ninja with your legs, don't you? Again, spiral down. And back. And spiral back. Okay, so the next time you are seated, I think it might be nice to stay there. My God, look at the time. And taking your legs out in front of you. So I'm going to combine a couple of things actually. So I quite like getting into pigeon this way. And then I'd like to roly-poly onto backs. So there's two movements that I quite like doing, and you're getting both of them now. So yeah, I kind of gave it away. So pigeon one way is kind of curling. So this is my left foot. I'm going to curl it in towards the right knee. So as you curl that foot in, the pelvis turns. So we're going to kind of get into pigeon this way. And then We're going to lay the left arm down and then roll over, and then you're on your back. And then the other way of getting into pigeon is kind of from, this is like a figure of four pigeon, isn't it? So from this position, you're holding your foot with your right hand, and then you're kind of kicking the leg out, and then similar way, you kind of roll over. Does that make sense? Possibly doesn't, we'll get it. Anyway, you're getting it all this morning. Hopefully you're going to feel like you really can release. So feet are wide, so start with feet wide. And we'll get to that other one, so please don't worry about it, but I just kind of wanted to give you a heads up where we're going. So just kind of settle for a second, give yourself some time to breathe. So hopefully you're kind of getting the idea that these movements you do with gentleness, you're concentrating on the movement, you try not to do it with effort. Looking towards your left foot, try and just drop your left little toe into the floor, and that is going to bend that knee and just relax it. So you turn that little toe towards the fleet floor and then relax it. So again, the knee turns out. That's where I'm going with flea. I thought of knee and floor. Start to turn both feet now. So I'm turning my right foot inwards like little windscreen wipers. Right hip lifts a little bit, and you can feel the pelvis turning to the left, and again, you're straightening. Quite a nice movement in itself, really, that. Just you kind of engage in the hamstring, and then you are releasing that hamstring as you straighten. So again, it's a nice little pandiculation for the hamstring on that left side. So just gently pull, and then gently release. And even feeling what's happening in that right hip, again, little pandiculation into that right hip, and as you settle down and release. So try not to rush. She said, thinking I need to get you to myself. We are going to rush. Okay, so from here, just keep pulling the heel in and take your hands around in front of the shin. So you're pulling that heel in towards your right knee. So I wouldn't think of pigeoning just yet. This is kind of considering the pigeon. And then come out of it by straightening the legs, and there you are back on your side. Turning both feet, pull both your feet and knees towards each other, again rest. And then straighten both legs, and there you are back. So to go into pigeon, kind of leave that right leg straight behind. Just bring your hands, and you kind of turn that the thigh and rest your hands on the floor. And then to come out of it, straighten your left leg, and there you are again. And again, turning there, bringing that heel in. Leave your right leg and just let the leg roll this time. And again, settle back out. And you just, let your breath be where it needs to be. Think less of instruction, go with feeling. So I'll just let you be quiet. I'll be quiet for a minute. Go with your breath. And then I'm just going to kind of allow myself to slink down into my pigeon. I'm going to take those hands down towards the floor and take a little bow in the pigeon. And then I take myself back up and straighten out the legs, and I'm going to go the opposite way now. So I'm looking at my right leg, thinking, oh. And again, turn that right little toe. I'll just shuffle it so you can see the foot. And again, turn the right little toe. The left leg is joining in. So again, there's a tug of that heel, which kind of, again, you're tightening the hamstring on the right side. Left knee turns in, and again, straighten. So just again, like little windscreen wipers, turn the feet and just feel how there's a sense of spiral of the body. Body kind of turns to look at this right foot almost. Again, go with feel. And I'm just going to bring the feet towards the knee, and again, have a little rest. Pushing away. I feel like I'm oiling my joints a little bit. And then thinking about pigeons again, not like the real ones. And then so I'm going to pull And then I'll leave that left leg behind me. And you kind of feel yourself rolling over the left thigh as the hands come towards the floor in front of that right knee. And you know how to get out of it now, don't you? You straighten your right leg, and there you are, you're back on your hips. So again, pull, keep that left leg straight, and just rolling into your pigeon. And again, go with sensation. And then you might be coming fully down towards your pigeon. Shall I get you onto your back from here? Maybe we should. So you've got your right leg curled in front of you, haven't you? Support yourself with your right arm and take your left hand to your right foot. Yep. And then lay down, sleepy pigeon. And then what we're going to do now is just try to roll onto our back. So you're going to lay your head down, lifting your right foot off the floor with your left hand, and there you are, you're on your back. She says, hopefully. Oh, I can see it happening, well done. Okay, so I bend the left knee at this point and stand the left foot on the floor, and you've got your right ankle crossed onto your left thigh as though you're going to go into the pigeon that you do on your back. So reclining pigeon, that's the name of it. Your right arm is on the floor somewhere overhead, and you're still holding your right foot with your left hand. So left hand, right foot. Lift your right foot up towards the ceiling and straighten it, and just see how, you might have to let go of it. You can always hold the ankle at this point, and then re-bend the knee and just see, keep hold of that leg. So you're extending the leg up, so you're kind of going into what feels like a bit of a leg stretch, and spread the ankle, really spread out through the back of the leg, and then again re-bend the knee. Sleepy little leg stretch. This is the thing I get up first thing in the morning. I like doing that, laying in bed and taking that foot towards the ceiling. And then we'll pause and hold again the ankle, the foot. You're not going to let go of it, because this is the magic. You need that connection. Lift the right leg, the foot off the thigh a little bit, and then look at your right thigh and think of the floor. And what would get your right thigh to the floor? Taking it there. And your left hip is going to lift. So just see if you can get your right foot to the floor by just pushing into that left foot so your left hip lifts a little bit, and then roll back onto your back. See, for me, I'm not kind of letting the thigh move too much in the socket. I'm kind of letting the whole body move the leg. So it's that little push of the left foot is pushing me onto my right side. But just do it from the foot. And then, what we're going to do next is see about pigeoning. So as you come across this time, think of your right shin trying to come to the floor. So you have to lift your head up, and then as you lift your head up, straighten your leg. Hey! And then slide your foot hand away and roll back onto your back. So left shin, floor, keep hold. You have to lift your head and straighten your right leg. Right leg, left leg, and then come all the way back. Dare I tell you, you can get into the splits doing this. All you do is keep your right leg straight. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to keep the leg straight, shin to floor, and again roly-poly splits time. And rolling back. Whee! So I do prefer the pigeon to the split, so it feels a little bit easier to do. So should we swap legs? Maybe we should. Crossing that left ankle over onto the right knee. And then holding your left ankle, your left foot, whatever it's going to take with your right hand. That's it. And just slowly unbend the leg to the ceiling. Amazing. That's it. Really nice. Again, open out the back of the thigh. I tend to see these movements like little moving meditations. Just kind of feel what's going on in the muscles through the knee. Slowly moving it. Amazing. So it's opposite hand to leg. And then we're going to keep that leg, just lift the foot slightly off. Think of your left thigh, now you're going to get it to the floor. So you're going to use that right foot. You're going to push with the right foot and you roly-poly slightly over. So that right foot takes the left thigh to the floor, roly-poly over. Just let that movement, feel like a jelly. No stiff edges. I love jellies. I marvel at them whenever I see them. Starting to straighten that left leg. And you're going to roll. Lay on your left side. And then I think, see, this is like having a duvet. You're going to pull with that right arm, pull that left leg back over you like a little duvet. And then again, roll out. And again, roll back. So the leg is going to take you to roll. And then the hand pulls you back onto your back. Rolly. So I'm going to keep the shin bent this time, the knee bent this time. I'm trying to get that shin to the floor. And then lifting the head, straighten that right leg out behind. And there we are, pigeon in. Pigeon in. Is that a verb? I think it is now. Slide the hand away, lay it back down. Pull that leg back over you like a little duvet and do it again. Yes, to pigeon is a verb. And again, like I say, you can take it to splits by keeping that leg straight and just holding on. But again, I kind of lean forwards. You don't have to do the splits, obviously, because it's not for everybody. Again, maybe return to pigeon a few times. And then it might be nice to stop doing movement and just to settle down and just let your legs rest into the floor in front of you. Just let your arms fall down by your side, and just to kind of pay attention. We've not spent a lot of time kind of with the benefits of what we've been doing. Kind of now beginning to notice the fruits of your labour. Hopefully none of this has felt like labour, to be fair. Begin to notice the weight of your hips. Spend a lot of time detangling the centre line of our body today. So the first few movements we're working on releasing the tension holding the tummy. Then we worked a little bit of time releasing the tension on the back, and then hopefully that made all those movements just a lot freer. So just notice the length of your spine. Does it feel a little bit like longer? Noticing the weight of your hips on the floor. So they feel more even. And then getting to shoulders, notice those. Spending some time with your breath. So we're going to take our breath into my favourite breathing practices. So we're going to start just with the belly. So feeling how your belly just kind of creates space for the breath. So there's all this sense of widening, expansion, and then the idea of just letting go and allowing the belly just to kind of sink back to the spine. You're just doing that a few times, belly widens and belly softens. So you're breathing all the way into the belly. And then let your belly button be a little bit more active. So your belly kind of floats effortlessly up towards the ceiling as you breathe in, but then there's action on the out breath. The navel comes into the spine, takes the breath away. Relax the belly to breathe in. And the belly button comes into the spine to breathe out. And just do that a few more times, your own leisure. And then keep the belly button drawn in. And that sends the breath upwards into your chest. We explored this breath last week, actually, but we did it as the breathing. So just kind of notice the way the breath comes into your chest with that belly button pulled in. You're breathing firstly into the heart space, then into the side ribs, but then into the back ribs, just near the spine, and then just let the breath go. So again, you're breathing into the breastbone, side ribs, back ribs, and then letting the breath go, keeping the navel pulled in. So kind of notice that three-dimensional aspect of your breath in your chest. And then we start to let the breath fade away. Just relax the belly button for a moment. So we're going to let the belly join in, so let the belly rise, and again taking your focus into the chest, the breastbone, the side ribs, the back ribs. And then let the breath fall out of the body, just soften it. So again, back ribs, side ribs, breastbone, belly. Belly, breastbone, side ribs, back ribs. Back ribs, side ribs, breastbone, belly. So it's just a full yogic breath, but you're just kind of watching how it arrives. And then starting just to let that begin to fade. But we fade it into ujjayi, so starting to let that breath begin to catch in your throat. And whenever it feels appropriate, just relaxing the breath into a more natural rhythm. So I spent a lot of time on the ground today, and hopefully just from these few breaths you feel more grounded. There's a mudra all about the earth. And all I'd like to do is just to bring your hands onto your belly, but connect the two ring fingers together. They symbolise the earth, and just sense the grounding behind the body. Allowing yourself to feel more grounded for the rest of the day. Now we can let our hands fall away. You can find a nice way to come to seated, be it normal or bizarre. We've found a few ways to get up today, haven't we? Fabulous. I'm going to stop the recording. Just where's the mouse gone? There it is. Why is it going?